Howdy ho, everybody. It is Monday. We're back to the grind. It is just parlays with both of us, with Scott and Chris. I'm Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com. This is Chris King, who will soon, hopefully by the time the show is over, no longer be sweating his ass off.
Yeah, I definitely am right now. So
they got his air conditioner fixed as of about 20 minutes ago, right, buddy?
Yeah, it just kind of throws off the rest of the day, but
and
like
of course,
you said, adapt and improvise and all that crap.
Of course, you're there in the temperate climes of South Carolina in late June, so or mid June, as it were. So
yeah, where if you're scoring at home right now, it is currently hot.
It's hot. Chance of hot, going to be hotter.
95 and feels like 102.
There you go. Welcome to it. We're in it here in the Midwest too, buddy. But I got AC. So, hey, it's good to see everybody. Welcome aboard. Unknown entity checking in said he missed us over the weekend. Yeah, man. Does it seem weird to you too when you get up and you don't have a show to do?
Yeah, because I go, hey, you know what? I don't have to get up early and do this crap. I can sleep in.
Yeah, it's weird. I got to get up, and do radio on Saturday.
Right, because of Clar, yeah.
But then when radio's done, I'm like, well, okay, I guess I got a couple hours off, and that feels very weird. So, hey, it's good to be here.
But it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weekends are a good thing, no question about it. Super Sly checking in. Good day to you, Super Sly. And we want to remind everybody, you're on the Max Wagers Network. If you're watching this live, you made it. Congratulations. If you haven't made it yet, I know there'll be people that'll be, go over to Winners and Whiners and go, oh, that's right. It's Max Wagers Network Day. So, yeah, don't forget to check us out on the Max Wagers Network. While you're here, of course, smash that like button. Smash it. Smash it, Chris. Hit that thumb. Let us know you're out there. Let us know you love us. And, of course, we're available on podcast form as well if you're in your car, if you can't catch us live, whatever. Maybe you'll watch it with your wife and she would be distracted by our classy haircuts and rugged good looks. So you just have to listen on podcast. You can't take any chances. So
you can't use that excuse when you're out with Rachel, because then you would just have to be talking about yourself.
That's right. So check that out. Available on all your major podcast platforms. Of course, if you haven't subscribed yet to the YouTube channels of the Winners and Whiners and the Max Wagers Network crew, you should absolutely do that now. Click that bell, get notified each and every time we put up brand new content or go live. And we're starting to see some of the new handicappers over at Winners and Whiners, Chris. They've been running pretty good from what I've seen. So
I haven't really, I have to be honest, I haven't really seen most of them because I don't know who they are. But that's what happens when you spend most of your time either doing the prep for this show or doing this show or then doing the writing about the stuff for this show.
Right. Yeah. See, and it does help that it's kind of my job to, oversee, the audio and visual
that
department.
Luxury to oversee what's going on.
Exactly. So,
I mean, who are those guys? Not to sound like Freddy Krueger in the Dawkins video for Dream Warriors, but what a nightmare. Who were those guys?
Some of them have been there a while. Some of them are pretty new, but they're all good. They're all good
Speaking
cappers.
of Dawkins, how ugly of a band do you have to be that Freddy Krueger has nightmares about looking at you?
That's funny, dude. Pretty like a scale, like a 8.5 on the ugly scale.
I mean, George Lynch is an ugly dude. Let's not take anything away from it, but still, you got to be pretty fucking ugly to have Freddy Krueger. What a nightmare.
Okay, good enough. And for those of you that were worried we weren't going to get into a deep dive on Dawkins videos in the first 10 minutes of the show, rest assured, it has happened, even though it's just Monday. Absolutely. Andrew's in the house. What's up? He said he misses us on the weekend. Dude, stop saying that, because pretty soon management's going to come to us and go, what are you guys doing on the weekend? I shouldn't have bragged about having a couple hours off. That's the kind of thing you just get shot down. Because
we need to just talk about that in the pre-show.
I almost guarantee you that we're going to be doing some kind of weekend shows in football season. I don't know if it'll be you. I know this guy's going to be involved in some sort of football shenanigans on the weekends, and it'll be fun. It'll be we can talk about it. We can watch some shows in real time or watch some games in real time or whatever. So
now, isn't that weird? Because when you watch them in real time, you're actually talking about stuff that's already happened during the game. At least that's what Jim had talked about before.
That's why we don't do more live stuff, is because there's such a delay, and it's compounded by the fact that I have a streaming service. I use YouTube TV, so I run about 30 seconds, 40 seconds behind like even cable or satellite or whatever. So
Yeah, I've got Hulu with live TV.
yeah, same thing. So it's a struggle for live betting for sure. Is there's an element of chance involved that's not involved for everybody else. So anyway.
Like, Christ, I can't find it. The hell is it?
Andrew talk. Jim says, "Weekend. How about a show?"
Jim, I'll tell you what. You pay me more money, and I'll think about it.
Oh no, that's not how this works, Chris. That's not how any of this works.
That's how it works for me.
Hey, Andrew talking about sports. That's kind of weird. I don't know what show he thinks he's in.
Let's talk about sports.
Notre Dame over Tennessee. Chris, was that the biggest upset of the weekend?
In college baseball realms, it probably ranks up there with. And I know you'll remember this game well from the era of college basketball of Chaminade beating number 1 Virginia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Virginia on the wrong side of a couple of historic beats, Chris.
That's true.
Losing as the number 1 seed and then losing to Chaminade. My God, what was that, like in 80 or something?
82, I think.
82.
with Ralph Sampson.
Right.
Getting outplayed by some relative nobody that you never heard of and then promptly never heard of again.
Yeah, quick reminder, Chaminade is not D1. Chaminade is...
I think they were NAI at the time.
Yeah, probably.
We're not talking about Bowser from Sha-Na-Na either. We're talking about Chaminade. Not to be confused with Schadenfreude.
Was Sha-Na-Na the most unlikely group to be at Woodstock, Chris?
I would say so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably.
Is there anybody that I'm missing?
Yeah, there's some down the card people, but nobody seemed
down the card. It's like
nobody.
No, in a wrestling vernacular.
Nobody
third from the top.
Nobody seemed more out of place than Sha-Na-Na at Woodstock. So, Rye wants us to let us know that he is available on the weekends. You are not helping, my friend.
You're fired. Get out. Turn in your chat membership.
DE Mortal Dead Bodies, which I don't remember seeing anything from DEMD before. He seconds that notion. Need you guys on the weekend. You fuckers, you guys are not helping the case for my free weekends at all. So, how'd you do this weekend, buddy? Speaking of free weekends, did you go loss free this weekend?
No, I mean yesterday. I think the team that screwed me over on a 6-teamer were the Dodgers.
I had them as a premium.
How do you score nothing?
Nothing. You'll get nothing against the Giants and like it.
Yeah, the Giants team that couldn't beat friggin' Colorado at home.
Oh, I'm aware. I had them as a premium. Cost me a profitable day. Cost me from 2 and 2 to 3 to 1. So.
But I mean, we did have a 4-teamer yesterday with the Braves, the Yankees. I think Texas and somebody else on the run line. It was like 17-1.
Yep, very good.
That's Michael Carwell. You remember him?
I do. Very good. All right. So
that sounds more like a name that you would get in Mutant League football, alongside guys like Bones Jackson and Scary Ice.
There was a female football team playing literally across the street from me. Of course, the street is I-70, but I can see the arena from my apartment.
Of course, the street is, it's not your regular 2-lane road to get you from here to the grocery store. It's a friggin' interstate.
It's literally across but that's where it is. But so I didn't even know, and they were playing Friday night. We drove past there. We were headed to dinner, and we saw a crowd, and we always have to look it up to see what the crowd is. And it was it's their only game, their only home game of the season.
Was it the lingerie football?
No, it was not. It was legit football. It was legit ladies football.
Oh, so now you're saying that the lingerie football league is not legit?
I am saying that. Yes, I'm gonna go out on a limb, taking a controversial stand, hot take, if you will.
I don't know if that league exists anymore, but
no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that it does. I actually did the announcing for the Kansas City lingerie football team when they had a
team. What were they called?
They were called, I want to say, the Bulls. Is that right? What the hell was it?
That's not a catchy name.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a great name. It was a takeoff like of the stockyards with the steers and all that. So,
gotcha.
Anyway, so let's. And I know you've been hustling trying to get everything done there because you've been kind of weathered out of your usual haunts, your office, if you will. So you've been relegated to the garage. Have you got everything put together, buddy?
I'm working on it. I'm down. I just have to. I've got all the main, the the last main screen's done. It's just the ones
Okay.
at the start that I haven't.
I'm getting.
We can riff about the games without putting up stuff about them.
I'm getting the sign from our producers to stretch. So.
I was gonna say. I mean, if you want, we can talk about specific games. If anybody has questions about them.
I would like to know what stage Michael was on. He says it's his old stage name. So I want to know what was that a
stage of doom.
Well, punk band. Lingerie football was a good thing for sports. Okay, all right. I would have gone to this game just to see it. Just I like to go to see weird shit. But
did you watch any of the fan-controlled football league there?
No, I haven't watched
some of it. Some of it was kind of weird. Being able to put in a power play so you can have more guys than the other team for a play just seemed friggin' weird to me. Yeah, look, we're playing 8-on-7. Well, then why couldn't you get the first down?
That is weird. Huh? Okay. Oh, rap.
Terrell Owens was playing there.
There you go. Rap, buddy. He was a rapper.
Okay.
Probably still is a rapper. Once a rapper, always a rapper. You don't stop.
True.
You don't stop spitting rhymes, man.
That's very true. I mean, the music. You don't leave the music leaves you.
There you go. I don't even know what that means, but sure.
I don't either, but it sounded good.
It does. It sounds impressive. All right, well, let's do it. Let's get to it, man. Let's test your theories. Let's see what you've got put together or what you have not put together. It's Monday. It's the first day exclusively on the Max Wagers Network, and of course, we wanted to make sure that everything was running smoothly and perfectly. So, hey, I know what we can talk about. Let's talk about the great deal we got going on over there at Caesars, Chris. It's a shocker. It's another week. It's another deal, but there's a new code. So yeah.
Oh no, not a new code.
A new code. That's what I'm saying.
The world is going to come to an end.
But if you're ready to use that old code, don't do it. Don't use the old code. It's
he said, don't do it, damn it.
You know the drill. $1,100 first bet insurance. If Caesars is in your state and you have not had an opportunity to use them yet, this is a great time. Maybe you got an angle on that NBA game tonight. Maybe you got something cooked up. Maybe you got a little money line parlay in the majors. Whatever it is, you think you got a line you can cash on it. It's a good chance to up that bet a little bit because Caesars will guarantee your first bet up to $1,100. That's right, risk-free bet insurance. Use whatever term you like. You lose it, they'll give it back to you. It's just that simple, folks. When you sign up, you got to use the code CZR15, CZR15. Of course, that code is in the description of today's video, along with the link that'll take you right to that page. It is
at least it's shorter.
Right. That's exactly right. And it's available, of course, only in the states where Caesars exist. Shouldn't have to tell you that. Must be 21 to play, except for the great states of Wyoming and New Hampshire, where you only have to be 5, I believe, is the age. They're very, very liberal there on their sports betting.
I know you said that you shouldn't have to tell them that it's only where Caesars is available. You have to remember, if you didn't do that, remember the whole thing with the spilling McDonald's coffee in your lap and then suing for zillions of dollars because it didn't say the coffee was hot.
You know the story behind that? I mean, it's obvious from talking about it that you don't, so that's okay. It's not quite as one-sided as you make it out to be.
Well, I'm just saying, common sense would dictate that, you should know that if it's not in your state, like, here or where you are, you couldn't do it.
That's true.
At least you could be like Reichel and drive over the border.
And we probably have a lot of 14-year-olds out there going, oh, can I do it? No, you can't. You can't, because we're a big hit with the kids, Chris. All of our fast cut videos, all of our inside lingo that we use, we can't keep the teenagers off our show. It's quite
with your Zima, Dan Fogelberg, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games.
That's right. Getting your newest thing in the hippity hop world. I don't know. There could be people less hip than us, but I'm not sure. You'd have to go.
Yeah, look at Reichel.
You'd have to look hard to find them.
Your co-host.
Graded on an age curve, yes, I think we're fine compared to Reichel. So. Rice
did he leave his house? Oh, that's right. He went to Belmont.
That's right. He went to Belmont. Although I never see any pictures. So
I was gonna say we didn't see the picture of the sport coat that he said that was reportedly taken.
Nope. So
I think he's bluffing.
Of course, you should listen to all the great content on Max Wagers Network. 12 o'clock midday money. Sean Higgs. 1 o'clock. It's Allie Burns bringing everybody morning wood. Me and Chris. One of us cool, calm, and collected. The other one's Chris. We do this every day at 2
How
o'clock.
many 10-teamers have you hit in the last 3 months?
3 o'clock brings the sport jacketed one. It's Scott Reichel and I doing Back to the Window. 4 o'clock, Sean Miller, soccer, F1, all those European sports, doing them from around the world. And, of course, the very depressed Tim Earl, along with his brother Nick and Detroit Lenny, will be bringing up the rear at 5 p.m. with Game Time Decision. I feel bad.
Do you think Detroit Lenny is depressed too?
Because he's from Detroit?
Yeah.
He got out. He's in Vegas. I'm sure he's happy.
Yeah, but he still roots for teams from Detroit.
AJ says, Reichel is a square like me. That's right. You do it for the kids. That's right, Jim. That's always our motto. Whatever show I'm doing, it's all about the kids. As long as the kids.
For how much Doug Reamer cares about kids.
Well, when you talk about kids betting, they're the ones that really need that information, because you talk about the bets they've made compared to their, like in relation to their total wealth. It's a huge percentage. So we got a lot of pressure when it comes to those 12-year-olds making bets. All right. For the record,
okay,
we are not advocating for underage bettors at all.
I'm going to bypass doing the baseball slides just in the interest of getting the show going.
Okay.
Done.
All right. Well,
so I'll load it up here. But
you know what? I've done my goofy part. I'm going to turn it over to you, buddy. Take us on that journey, Chris. Here we go.
Okay. Give me 1 second to get these uploaded here.
Really? I give you the big fucking drum roll intro with the timpani in the background, and you go, okay, yeah, just a second, hang on.
Yeah, well, I got to wait for the thing to actually upload.
Oh.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in the tailpipe.
I just watched that movie Friday night. I wanted to see.
Yeah, Die Hard was on last night. I saw Bill Bender was watching. He said, "I'm tired and I'm watching Die Hard," and Die Hard is on AMC. So he said, "Well, I guess you're gonna be more tired."
I can't. It's that's another one of those fish hook movies. No matter where you are, man, you drive by, you walk by, you see that movie on, you're like, I'm hooked. I'm in. I gotta watch it. So
now, question: do you think Die Hard is a
Christmas movie? Yes.
Very good. Very good.
Did I anticipate your question?
No, I wanted to see if you thought it was, because people always argue about it all the time, whether it actually is or not.
If people are doing Christmas shit and you're coming home for a Christmas, it's a Christmas movie. You've said it at Christmas. Congratulations.
And technically, I mean, couldn't you say then that Die Hard 2 is also a Christmas movie?
Yes, you certainly could. That's why my family and I get together every Christmas and watch the entire Die Hard catalog.
Yeah, I have to admit the last one wasn't the greatest.
Was that the one where they were in Russia?
Yeah.
Was that the last one? No, that was not high quality.
I mean, I like the third one, Die Hard with a Vengeance, right?
Jim says Little League futures. Chris has them soon. Chris, have you ever bet on a Little League game in your life?
No. Okay. I'm not Pete Rose.
All right. I have 100% bet on multiple Little League games. I've made Little League parlays before.
But who has bet on Little League sports? Ask Detroit Lenny at 5. Remember he talked about that during the Super Bowl show.
That's right.
I jumped on it for 20 minutes.
That's right. Why? Dude, I say it on my show every day. If you've got an advantage, if you've got a leg up, if you've got a piece of information, if you think you have a piece of knowledge that can benefit you and give you a plus EV play, I don't care what it's on. It doesn't even have to be on sports.
All right. Well, now I've got the slides loaded up. Like I said, I don't have baseball ones up, but we'll talk about a couple of games that I was going to touch on anyway.
Sure.
I'm going to start with the Blue Jays. They're heavy favorites over the Orioles, obviously. The Orioles are, I guess they're playing better than they did last year. They're only 10 games under 500. But they got Kyle Bradish going today against Alek Manoah. If there's a team that's hotter than the Blue Jays in the American League, I'd like to know who they are. They've been knocking the cover off the ball of late. They're facing Bradish, who's got an ERA of 6.45. He does have a win, so I mean, kudos for that. Of course, he beat St. Louis. So
that's
go ahead. Get your chime in about how they have the best fans in baseball.
St. Louis?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they tell you. Just ask him.
Well, I could tell you Mike Shannon's a drunk too, but he's still up in the press box.
Okay, odd shot from across the bow. I guess that Cubs fan thing, it really plumbs the depths, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, we could talk about Emo's Pizza. I mean, I know how much you love that.
I don't with Provel on there. No.
And that comes from St. Louis too.
It certainly does. Now, I will say this: St. Louis has fantastic Italian food. You go to the Hill. It's great Italian
There's
food.
some good stuff in Arnold too. I don't know if you've been in Arnold.
No. Only Arnold I know is Arnold Ziffel.
I thought you were gonna say it's Arnold Jackson.
What you talking about, Chris?
Exactly.
Um,
But you're looking at Manoah here. He's won 3 of his last 4 starts. He's got 5 quality starts in a row. 9 of his last 10 are quality starts going back to April 17th. The one start he got that wasn't a quality start. He went 5 innings. He had 2 runs on 5 hits with a walk and 3 strikeouts. Coming off 6 scoreless innings against Scott's Kansas City Royals at Kauffman Stadium in his last outing.
so you know he's good.
Yeah, he's 7-1 with a 181 earned run average on the season, 13 walks, 61 strikeouts. Last 3 starts, 2-0, 229 earned run average, 117 whip, 4 walks, 18 strikeouts, and 19 2/3. Pitching at Rogers Center this year, a perfect 4-0 with a 182 ERA, an 081 whip, 5 walks, 29 strikeouts, and 34 2/3. The Blue Jays bats have been clicking lately, except for when Scott picked Gausman on Saturday against Bo Brisky.
You're welcome.
That's the one day they didn't show up. I expect them to bounce back with a vengeance against the Baltimore team that, let's face it, doesn't do a great job of preventing runs.
They've run 2 straight, Chris.
Yeah, who'd they beat again?
Can't remember. It was a pretty good team, though. They'd been hot coming into those 2 games.
They beat a pretty good AAA team.
Yeah, I wish we had our AAA team in there. Yeah, they're coming off 2 straight wins over the Kansas City Royals. I'm with you, Chris. Do we know? Will anyone not be available for this game because of vaccination status? Have you seen anything on that?
Let me check for the Orioles real quick. Let's see. Last I checked, I didn't see any news articles about how we weren't playing anyone.
Okay.
Let's see.
See who didn't make the plane.
Oh, and I see Eovaldi's on the IL now.
Yep.
Okay, that's great.
Yep, saw that yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anyone at the moment. All the articles about the Orioles right now are about how there's the feud between, the Angelos brothers about potentially moving the team and everything else.
Okay.
But no, as far as I can see, they should be at full strength. And let's face it, they're going to need to be at full strength with that bullpen because let's face it, they give up a lot of runs.
Yeah, they bled runs in that Kansas City series. They give up 26 runs in 4 games to the Royals, which that's not a terrific look at all. So yeah, they've given up a shit ton of runs, bud. You're absolutely right. So
I mean, is there any number that you wouldn't put where you would be like, oh fuck, I'm not betting on the Blue Jays here?
Oh, as far as you mean the money line?
No, the money line is bad. It's minus 275 is the best number out there.
Yeah, I mean you should be able to catch some value, and I got to tell you, this is gonna be a fine day because I'm flying blind because my regular site that I use, that's got all the matchup stats on it, sound really smart as we do this in real time. It's down.
StatFox?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. It's not down, just the baseball part's down. So
yeah, the best run line is minus 135 for minus 1.5.
No, that would have been exactly my guess for the run line there.
And minus 2.5 is plus money.
I have no fear of the run line here, even though the Jays are at home and they spanked me over the weekend. They
bounced back. Yes, I was surprised they got the better of Scooball.
The day after, yeah, they faded. They beat 6-0. Beat Scooball, yeah. So, I've got it right here. There you go. Anyway, yeah,
I see StatFox.
I'm okay with that. However, I've been really terrible at backing the Toronto Blue Jays at the right time. So keep that in mind if you want to make that play. I like it, so it could be worrisome.
So there you go. So throw it away. Scott, what about the Marlins and the Phillies? We were talking about that in the pre-show. Sandy
Alcantara.
Yeah.
That guy.
We'll just call him Bob.
I
actually like the Marlins at plus money here.
It's hard to bet against him with him on the mound. Now, I know Nola's been very good lately. But the Phillies, just about the time I want to stop believing in them, Chris. They just they kind of
Just when you think you're out, they pull you back.
they start dragging me back in, man. It's a team that's been playing pretty good baseball. They lost their last one, but they had a terrific winning streak before that. They have a 9-game winning streak before that.
And the sad part was they couldn't gain any ground because Atlanta kept winning too.
Right. Well, and Miami had won 5 straight going into yesterday's game against Houston. They were able to take 2 or 3 from Houston. They were able to sweep Washington. So 2 teams that are playing pretty good baseball right now and 2 pretty good pitchers on the mound. Are you a believer in Nola? So you like the
I like the Marlins at plus money.
What are you getting? What are you getting on the what am I seeing here?
I think it was plus 110 last I saw.
Yeah, I think you can get a better
plus 115 even.
I was going to say I think
WinBet's at plus 118.
Yeah, I'm seeing 130, 125, so you should be able to get plus 115 across the board there. So
I like the way Alcantara's pitched, and like you said, the Marlins were playing well. And you're looking at let's be honest, Philadelphia, sure, they had won 9 in a row, but you look at the teams they beat. They beat the Angels, who were in the death throes of that 14-game losing skid.
Mm-hmm.
They swept Milwaukee, who was in the middle of an 8 or 9 game skid themselves.
Right.
And then they beat Arizona at home.
Okay. 2 out of 3.
I mean, I'll give them credit. They roughed up Zach Gallen on Friday. They knocked around Bumgarner on Saturday, but to lose 13-1 in what was basically a bullpen game for Arizona because they started Kyle Nelson, who went a whole inning. And then they lost.
They got a full Nelson.
Yeah, basically a full Nelson. Didn't go for the half Nelson.
No.
But the winning pitcher, Luke Weaver. When's the last time he won?
Who is he?
Exactly.
Is he? That sounds like one of those guys where I think, oh man, he's pretty old, and I see it's actually his kid. Is that Luke Weaver Jr.?
This is might as well be. It could be Rip Van Winkle for all it matters.
So you're saying no? So here's the question, Chris, because you talked about their schedule recently. So this is a team that lost 2 or 3 to San Diego, 2 or 3 to the Dodgers. They split with the Braves, got swept by the Mets. 2 or 3. They lost 2 of 3 to the Giants, and then their winning streak started. So is Miami a good team or are they not a good team? So they struggle with good teams, they beat bad teams. Which is Miami? That's the question.
Well, and that's a valid point. I think Miami's a middle of the road team, basically. But when Alcantara pitches, or Alcantara, whatever we're going to call him, we'll just call him Biff Tannen. Whenever Biff Tannen pitches, the Marlins actually put up runs and perform well. Of course, when the guy's putting up zeros all the time, it's tough to go against that.
It is.
I mean, he's got a 1.61 ERA, and what's he thrown now? 80-some innings.
Right, almost. and Rye said he was fading the Phillies. He got it at plus 120. Said the movement's going the right direction for him. It does mean more people are betting on the Phillies. That's not surprising. I think that's a kind of an auto bet. People know they've won 9 of 10, and they've got Nola going. So those are all good things. I think that the general public is going to pounce on. I wouldn't be surprised you could see this at 125 by the time the game goes off.
Rye also said that the Marlins own the Phillies. So, Rye, what do you think Nola is going to struggle today, or do you think it's going to be the bullpen that blows up? I'll be interested to see what he thinks of that.
The Phillies, new and interesting ways to lose games. This
brought to you by Miller Lite.
Yeah, this is a freaky team. They lose 8 of 9, they win 9 of 10. I don't know. I think it's all about the level of competition. I think you put your finger on it.
And I mean, speaking of some of these teams, I mean, what the hell is going on with Milwaukee? I mean, they lost badly to Washington in a couple of those games. I mean, they made Patrick Corbin look good.
That's inexcusable right there.
And Rye's right. In the season series so far, the Marlins have won 3 of 4 games with the Phillies, outscoring them 25-17.
Okay.
That was a 4-game set at home, April 14th to 17th, including one where the winning pitcher, Sandy Alcantara.
There you go. All right, very good. So you've got that locked in at plus money. That's going to add some value to the parlays, buddy.
Right. So now, I mean, we can go on and talk about the NBA unless there's any other of the MLB games anybody wants to kick around. I know there's some real exciting matchups. Like,
Well, and I know you'll probably be back to him on the Shot in the Dark too. You'll talk about
this is
some,
also
so.
true.
So yeah, no
I
worries.
just didn't know if anybody had anything they wanted to kick around real quick.
Specifically, all right. Well, let's take we'll take a little pause for the cause here, as they used to say back in the '60s, and see if anybody's checking in with any. Because I know a lot of people are going to want to talk about the NBA game. Hey, Chris, did you know the NBA game's tonight?
It is? Oh, crap.
Do you know when I did my video Saturday night? I did not know that.
I remember Rachel was complaining about why there was an extra rest day and all that.
Yeah, he said that on Twitter, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remembered that when I saw the schedule. I'm like, that can't be right. But it doesn't. That makes no sense. Sunday night is America's TV night. That's the night you want to have your shows on. It's the most.
And what also makes no sense too is Zig Verkasi, who does stuff for Sirius XM Radio, posted that there's an extra day between games 1 and 2,
right?
Of the Stanley Cup, but not between 2 and 3 when you're going to go from Colorado to Tampa.
Yeah, it's
So I mean, who the hell came up with that idea?
I don't know. It's very weird. So, all right, and you know what?
I said Nola pitches better at home, but he thinks the bullpen will blow the game.
That's usually in a low-scoring game. Okay,
Maybe Alec Boehm will commit 3 more errors, and
I do like the low-scoring game aspect. If you want to play the under, you want to play the first 5 under. 7. You can find what's that number, Chris? You got 7.5 or 7.
It's 7.5.
So if you can find a 4 for first 5, I'm all over that.
Let me see what some of our good friends have up on the books.
Let me see what I've got. I got 3.5 everywhere. I was afraid of that.
3.5 sucks.
Juiced over. If you've got a site where you can pick your number, because 3.5's juiced over, so you can probably find under 4 at 125, something like that, 120.
Yeah, I see BetMGM has the over at -125 at 3.5. The under plus 100.
So I'm saying it's juiced over at 3.5.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, but I mean, do you think there's still value at under 3.5? Do you think we could see 1-0, 2-1?
Sure. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm more interested in paying a little extra juice for that half run, though. I'm not usually a big fan of buying a run or a point or a half or whatever, but in this case, that's a huge difference, 3.5 to 4.
Yeah, give yourself a little extra cushion.
Exactly right. Take the 2-2 tie. Take the push. So
I hear you.
All right, so let's Atlanta versus Washington. Says Michael wants to know about the Braves and the Nats.
Yeah, Jethro Tull's on the mound. Against Pete Gray.
Pete Gray. Are you lying to me? Is it another Gray? It's
Josiah
Hosea Gray. Right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But we always talked about how all the Grays suck. So
yeah, I didn't know.
I wanted to get the one-armed man in there.
Was there another sneaky Gray that had snuck in there? Is that who the one-armed man is? Pete Gray?
Yeah, Pete Gray was a one-armed outfielder for the St. Louis Browns.
Oh, I thought you meant from the fucking Fugitive.
No, not from the Fugitive.
Oh, for God's
sake.
sake.
For all you know, he could be. I mean, hey, they wouldn't even have to They wouldn't even have to act like the guy had 2.
Well, that show was from the '60s with David Jansen. My wife, Jesus, my mom used to watch that show. That's wrong on so many levels. My mom used to be in love with David Jansen, so we watched The Fugitive. I want to know if they, when they started looking for the one-armed man, did anybody go find out what Pete Gray was doing? Because it seemed like a natural.
That's what I mean. They could have just had him.
He'd have been like in his 40s. I think he'd a prime suspect. Is what I'm saying. So
it would have made a lot more sense than trying to get some guy that had 2 arms.
Hey, let's talk about this Nationals game tonight. Somebody was kind enough to ask about it. Taking on the Braves, as you mentioned, Hosea Gray going up against Ian Anderson. He'll not just be twirling his flute, but he'll be twirling from the mound. They don't say that much anymore. That's an old timey. He twirled a 2-hitter. They don't say that much. Yep. Sports writers don't use that much anymore. Chris, as far as the numbers go on this game, you would expect it to be pretty one-sided, and it is. However, there has been some, dare I say, Washington money coming in. This opened at 160.
Those people are drunk.
It's climbed down to in the neighborhood of 140. There's even some high 130s if you put on your fancy looking glasses.
Those people are drunk.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
I don't either. The Nationals don't put up a ton of runs at Nationals Park. They average 3.67 runs a game there. Their pitching has been brutal. When you consider Gray your ace, and he's got an earned run average of 433, not really ideal numbers. And you factor in that Washington is 29th in runs allowed at 5.53 a night. The only team slightly worse than them is Colorado, who gives up 554.
But they play at 5,300 feet, so
that's true.
You can kind of excuse them.
And they give up over 5 runs a game at Nationals Park.
Now, you like this? No, this is one of those rare tens that you see outside of Colorado or Wrigley Field on a windy day. You don't see a ton of tens out there, Chris, especially with a good pitcher involved with Ian Anderson. Now, Ian Anderson, he's been a little disappointing this season. 4.5 ERA. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he's been a little sketchy lately. He was decent and he had a quality start his last time out, but in his last 4 starts, 5.70 ERA, Chris, not ideal. And the good news is the Braves are scoring some runs for him, and he's
35 runs in those 4 games.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so they've gone 3-1. You know what? Washington, probably not a bad candidate to score a bunch of runs against. Just saying. But
this is true.
As Reichel and I are wont to say, I don't know if I'm going to bet the over here, but I want no part of the under. That's right. So you like laying the wood there with Anderson? What do you know?
I think so. I just don't trust Washington or their bullpen. I mean, you look at the way the Nationals played over the weekend. You know, they held the Brewers. They won 11-5 and then 8-6, and then Art Vandelay came out and pitched yesterday and shut them down. They only scored 1. And Washington was so desperate for pitchers, they brought back Paulo Espino to start.
It's a beautiful thing.
Because you know who was supposed to start?
No.
Agon.
Oh, is he gone?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they dumped him down to the minors.
I told you guys it was coming. I knew it was coming. The good thing couldn't last forever. Damn it.
Yeah, he pitched yesterday and gave up 3 runs on 4 hits with 3 walks and 5 strikeouts in 2 innings.
In the minors?
Yeah, at Rochester.
I was just going to say, if you've got the ability to bet minor league games, you should probably fade him. So they kept him. They kept him on his usual start, huh? They kept him on his rotation.
Yep, and they lost 5-1.
Okay. Well,
so Adon keeping up with the tradition of putting up L's.
It's a beautiful thing, man. All right, so I just don't love laying the price. I know that Josiah Gray's been bad. I know that Washington bullpen's been bad. I'm thinking
Atlanta's going to cover the run line. I mean, for all their struggles that they've had, you look, and during this 10-game win streak, they've covered the run line in 8 of them.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Including, and where I texted you about the game Saturday where they were down 3-2, and then, you get ahead in the count and you plunk Acuna to put a guy on base. Is this the new Tony La Russa strategy? Yeah, well, we want to pitch to Dansby Swanson with the bases loaded.
Yeah.
So we'll hit this guy.
Solid strategy indeed.
And it was followed by the ever popular 3-run single.
Rye wants to know about Braves team total over 5.5, huh?
Well, let's see. In this 10-game win streak, they've scored 33, 46, 49, 53, 63, 68 runs. So they're averaging 6.8 a game.
4, 5. They've hit it. They've gone over 5.5 5 times in that streak.
Yep.
So,
but like we said, Washington's pitching is bad.
You might as well. I just don't think it's going to be a pitcher's duel.
No, you look in the last 10, Washington has given up 5 runs or more in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not a good stat either.
Nope, it's not. All right, very good. Braves run line and the over there. I'll hold my nose on each and bet, but I have no interest in the other side of either one of those bets. So
I don't blame you. So
by the transitive property, then it's got to be the Braves and the over, right?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, how about some NBA, buddy?
All right. Well, we got Game 5. Never mind the line where it says it's Celtics on a 2-1 lead. I didn't get a chance to change that one because I was trying to get through.
What are you doing?
We know Boston wilted in the fourth quarter, and that's something that we've seen happen in this series. You know, somebody will play good basketball for 3 quarters, then forget that the game's 4 quarters. I think Boston is going to bounce back here.
Okay.
Draymond Green, unless Steve Kerr actually realizes that, I shouldn't play him on the offensive end of the floor, he's going to take dumb shots.
I saw a stat on Twitter, and I don't know. I didn't have time to confirm it. I fucking shiny object and forgot about it. But
shiny objects.
I can't remember what the starting point was. I want to say. I'm trying to figure out. I'm just trying to, like, 2007, 2008. I have to sit down and do the math. But
Is this the one with the favorites between under 6 points or whatever?
Yeah, 66-0. 66.
Yeah, it's like 72-0-2.
Yeah, it was something 0-2. So keep that in mind. And I didn't have time to independently verify it. I can't. It was from an official account of somebody. It was a blue check mark. But again, I'm not putting this out there as something that I have verified and back up. But they said that basically what it means is if you win, you cover.
Yeah.
The point spread does not come into play. So if the Warriors are going to win, they're going to cover. They're going to cover the 4. And
if Boston wins, then it doesn't matter.
Correct. So if you're going to take Boston, take the money line. I think that's the big takeaway in that game. Don't be afraid to, from that stat. Don't be afraid to lay the points with the favorite. And if you're going to bet the underdog, take the money line.
I think this game is going to hinge on a couple of things. It's going to hinge on, like I said, will Steve Kerr not let Draymond Green shoot the ball? Or even exist offensively.
Does he have a gun? How else is he going to stop him?
Put him on the bench.
Well, I guess that's possible, but we'll see.
Will Robert Williams be more involved? He basically was non-existent in Game 4.
What happened there, Chris? They don't start Looney. They just hand the Celtics a huge advantage inside, and the Celtics just fuck around. What are we doing?
Apparently, it's just like we said in Game 2, where we said that they outcoach themselves.
Yeah, they get a little too fancy.
Yep. And like George brings up here, the Celtics have only lost once in back-to-back games since January, and they haven't done it in the playoffs.
Okay. Very good. Good stat.
They tend to adjust from, miscues and what have you.
It's good stat, Bill. That's excellent.
George, not Bill.
What's that?
George, not Bill.
You said Bill.
I said George.
You did not say George. I'm sure people will weigh in.
And Bill said, do you like the over for the first half is low at 102.5? I actually thought this game was going to go over the total, and I see it's been going down. Because I saw it last night at 211 or 212, and I saw this afternoon it was like, 210.5?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figured after the last game it would be down. So,
but do you think they're overcorrecting?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to, do you think the Boston defense can do enough to stop Steph Curry?
I mean, eventually Curry's going to have to get help.
Is he?
I don't know. Well, I mean, how often do you think he's going to go off for 43 or 45 points or whatever?
2 out of the next 3 games.
So you think it's going to go to 7 games?
I think there's a very good possibility this goes to 7 games. All right. So what was the number on? What was the number Bill was asking about Boston?
Yeah, he was asking about the first half total is 102.5.
102.5. That is extremely low.
That's what I thought too.
Usually, if you look at scoring stats, it's weird. It's the opposite of college. They actually score more in the first half, generally speaking, than they do in the second half. It's kind of counterintuitive, but they don't do the as much of the bullshit foul stuff at the end. as they do in college, and they do.
I mean, I get it, because in Game 4 they scored 103 in the first half, but you look before that, in Game 3 when Boston won, there was 124 in the first half.
Right.
In Game 2 it was 102, and in Game 1 it was 110. So when Boston wins, you'd seem to have a higher first half total than when Golden State wins.
So you kind of correlate it with how you think the game is going to go, and if you think Boston is the play here, like you do, Chris, then I would think that you would tend to lean over first half.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Which way were you going, just out of curiosity?
You know what? I would.
Or did you say pass?
I'm going to pass on the first half. Anytime you've got 2-2 with no obvious, and then it's gone 1-1 on each other's home courts. I'm not finding much of an actionable trend here. You looking at there's no injuries except for Robert Williams, again questionable. He just seems to live it questionable and then plays. I don't know. Do you think this?
Same with Otto Porter and
Pate and Iguodala. Well, Iguodala is listed as out right now.
Did they bump him to out?
Well, it's weird. It says he's out for Sundays. It says he's out Sunday. So
the league injury report as of 20 minutes ago has Williams is questionable, then Iguodala and Porter is questionable, and of course Wiseman, who hasn't played all year. I don't even know whether they have to put him on the injury report.
So, and what's Peyton?
He's not on there.
So there's no designation. So apparently StatFox thought the game was yesterday too, because they've got everything up there that says Sunday on it.
Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going the other way here, Chris. I've got Golden State to win 2 in a row. Yeah, I know all the back-to-back Boston stats. I know they've been excellent on the road, but at the end of the day, I just think Golden State's going to put up one great quarter, and it's going to be enough to survive the other 3 that they play less than average basketball. That's really the only question, because they haven't played a complete game yet, anywhere near it. And one of these teams is due. I mean, you could make an argument that Boston played a pretty complete game in Game 1 when they put up 120. I got to feel that's damn close to their ceiling, wouldn't you say, Chris?
I would think so, yeah.
Especially on the road. So, but as we've seen in this series and with Boston in general, home road really hasn't made a difference, and both of these teams have stolen another one, obviously, on their opponent's home court. So now we go back now we go back to deuce with the advantage of the Golden State Warriors. I got the Warriors here, buddy. And I
figured that if I was going to make a bet on Golden State, it would be the same one that we've talked about all playoffs long, and that's the third quarter.
Mm-hmm. That's my play of the day. And people have asked me, like, why don't you put it as a premium? Such a great play. And the simple reason is my premium players, a lot of them don't have access to the quarter bets. I've been requested, that's not a universal play for everybody to be able to make. That's the only reason. That's it's my favorite play of the day. That's just it's a trend, and it's been a trend all season. They were the best third quarter team. It's not just the playoffs. It's not just this series. They were the best third quarter team. They had the biggest point differential in the third quarter all season long. It's continued in the playoffs. Sure, you're going to lose them. No trend's going to hit every time, but it's 14-5 right now in the playoffs. I can't pass that up. Laying 1.5. They're laying the same number, Chris, they did in the last game when they were underdogs, as they are in this game when they're a favorite. There's a 7-point difference, 7.5 point difference as far as the line goes. Third quarter minus 1.5, same exact bet.
So, yeah, so you're getting a good option there,
right? Yeah, if you liked it in the last game and it hit, there's absolutely you cannot make a case not to like it in this game. So
right.
Anyway. Okay, so you and I are split here. You got I do think they're correlated. I think you want to play Boston, you play the over. I think you want to play the Warriors, you play the under. And I know that seems kind of counterintuitive because this Warriors offense could obviously go out for big numbers, but I think this is going to be about them keeping Boston south of 98, 97 points. I think that's how.
Yeah, and also a big key is going to be cutting down on turnovers because, you can't throw the ball out of bounds
That's the bugaboo of this Golden State team, and it's been the bugaboo of both of these teams, to Boston to a lesser degree, but it's really been a problem for Golden State, and it really reared its ugly head there the other night at the absolute worst time there in the fourth quarter, as they had done pretty well with turnovers, and then just had horrible shots, horrible possessions, and turnovers in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, just poor basketball at the worst possible time.
You got to, we're not reinventing the wheel by telling you that, because they had 11 points. So obviously they did a lot of shit wrong.
This is true.
If I'm going to tell you they took some bad shots and they shot poorly, they missed wide open looks, and they turned the ball over and they scored 11 points, you're like, yeah, okay, thanks for the hot information there.
Thanks for the update.
Right. Thanks for nutting. All right, so you've got the Celtics. I'm assuming we're going to see. Are you okay with the money line here at plus 140? Is that your actual play since we've?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Well, we're looking for another trend to break. We broke some trends this last week, so
this is true.
The Twitter trend of you say 72, I thought it was 66. It's a lot. It's a lot. So that many games in a row where the spread hasn't mattered in the finals. So
yep,
plan accordingly. All right, buddy.
All right, let's go to the two-teamers, huh?
Oh, shit. Yeah, we got to rip.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Braves over the Nationals, which we were talking about, and the Cardinals over the Pirates.
Okay.
Let's face it, Pittsburgh sucks.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think we need to say anything else about that.
Not the city, but the team. I like the city.
Right, the city's not bad. They got some good food there and stuff.
Oh, they do? Absolutely.
Then the Marlins over the Phillies. I mean, come on, Rice from Philly, and he's not even back in his own team. That should tell you that there's problems with the organization.
Fair enough.
And in the battle of the teams from the Lone Star State, I'm going to take Houston over Texas. The Rangers just don't necessarily have a whole lot of luck when it comes to facing the Astros. And I'll take Christian Javier over Taylor Hearn pretty much any day of the week. But Houston's won 36 of the last 51 between those teams, including 5 of the last 6 at Globe Life Field.
Fair enough. Two-teamer pays 1.6, almost 1.7. Your run line, two-teamer on the first one, 341, 3.4. And the second parlay, they're a little healthier, Chris.
That's because the Marlins have a big number.
Almost getting actual parlay odds there at 2.5 to 1 on 100. And you want to play the run line there? You got those cojones mayores. Play your 572 on $100. All right, Chris, what do we got for a four-teamer?
All right, we got the Blue Jays, which we talked about, or the Orioles. Got the Diamondbacks. Merrill Kelly's going for the Diamondbacks against the Reds. The Reds throwing, let's see, who were they? Oh, Mike Minor.
Yes.
Unless I see more from Minor, he's going to go on the fade list with Vladimir Gutierrez.
Yeah.
The departed Joan Adon and so on.
2 outings, 2 terrible outings. So, yeah, very good.
Going to take the Giants over Scott's Royals. I know Brady Singer's pitching, but the bullpen is in disarray. And the Giants have some momentum after beating up on the Dodgers.
Yep, absolutely.
And then, like we talked about the Celtics a minute ago.
Okay. All right, very good. 776 on 100. You want to throw some run lines on the Giants and the Diamondbacks and the Blue Jays. That's going to pay you 16 to 1, 16.5 to 1. So very good, Chris. And now let's take that shot in the dark.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Padres over the Cubs. Yu Darvish gets to come back to Wrigley. Last I saw, the total on this game was only 8.5, which I thought was hilarious, considering how poorly Justin Steele's pitched.
What's the wind doing?
Well, now it looks like they've turned the wind around. It was blowing out to left center. Now it looks like it's slightly blowing in towards the right field corner, but it's only at 5 miles an hour.
Let me tell you something about this game. Darvish is awful on the road, fantastic at home. Justin Steele's awful on the road and a little better at home.
I was waiting for you to say and awful.
Sub 4, 365 if I remember right. 365.
369, yeah, close.
Okay, there you go.
But he's got 1 quality start and 7 outings at Wrigley.
I understand.
So I'll ride the Padres there. I know Darvish hasn't been great on the road, but at least he has familiarity with the park from pitching there for a couple of years.
Fair enough. You got the Mariners over the Twins.
Yep. Just don't trust Chris Archer.
Yep. Fair enough.
White Sox over the Tigers. It listed Cueto, and then they said last night it was going to be Lance Lynn, and
Cueto,
now I don't know.
Cueto already pitched. Cueto had to pitch when Who wasn't it? It was Kopech got hurt.
Oh, so he came in yesterday when Kopech
Yeah.
left.
Yeah, and he didn't come in immediately. There was they tried to bridge it and they couldn't, and he ended up pitching 5 innings. So yeah, Cueto's not going.
Yeah, so I guess they said they were activating Lance Lynn anyway.
Yay!
So he's supposed to get the start.
Okay, well,
I'd rather have him over Rony Garcia.
Okay.
I'd rather have Rice Rony over Rony.
Yeah,
Garcia.
I want no part of Lance Lynn there.
So we got the Astros over the Rangers going over the total.
Okay.
And the Cardinals and Pirates going over the total because Pittsburgh, they're not throwing Quintana.
Right.
And after watching them play over the weekend, they can give up crooked numbers to just about anybody without even trying.
Yes, sir.
Lex says he has the Tigers team total over 3.5.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that a bit, Lex. I think that's a fine play.
I'm leaning, like we said, since I'm taking the Celtics, I'm leaning for this one to go over the number.
Okay.
I guess it's at 210.5 now, according to what I just saw.
Lock it up. Keep an eye on that.
Yep. Jordan Poole over 12.5 points. Because like we said, somebody's got to contribute. I think, and Thompson under 19.5 because he hasn't shot well in the playoffs. He's only gone over 20 points once in this series. He's gone over that number, I think, twice in his last 9 games.
Okay.
Derek White over 2.5 assists because when Smart's not on the floor, somebody else has got to pass the ball. And I also look for Smart to go over 20.5 combined points and assists because for some reason he likes to shoot the ball all the time, like you said the other day. So he needs to tell him to quit shooting the damn thing.
Yes, absolutely. All right, that's the 10. If you want to play kind of a light day, kind of one of those wimpy days, Chris, it only pays $63,000 on $100. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I know what.
Well, you want to crank that difficulty knob up to 11. Sure, go ahead and do that on the run lines. That pays you $156,000 on $100. You know, it's not a bad way to start your week. I'm just saying it'd be okay.
And Lex saying 2 days because remember Wednesday I have to create something that doesn't have all the other things in there. So because he can't do, it either has to be a single game or a giant conglomeration of 10 different things.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So keep that. It's good. It's going to be customized for Lex. That's right. We do individual customization of parlays just for you, everybody. So get your
$99.99.
Get your request in. All right, that's going to do it for the show. We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody stopping by and finding us on the Max Wagers Network. We're going to be here.
Tell your friends.
Yes, tell your friends, tell your enemies. We're going to be here going forward on Max Wagers. So thanks everybody for stopping by. We appreciate it. I'm gonna take a quick breath here, roll down the hall to the other studio, and I'll be joined by my pal Scott Reichel here in just a minute. So check that out. But if you can't make it, hey, come back and see us tomorrow, where a cool, calm, and collected Chris King is going to be, where we stop talking about air conditioning and we start talking about
just parlays.
That's right, you guys. Just parlays. We'll see you then.